What's going on? Welcome to the DZ Report. Don't you know I love haters? Tried to upload this, but for some reason my internet is tripping and it doesn't want to work right now. So we're just gonna go live with the movie. um, if you remember, the Inside Man was created like back in 2006. It was produced and directed by Spike Lee. Hold on, give me a sec. I gotta share this. I believe it was shared by, I think it was directed by Spike Lee. And it featured Clive Owen and Denzel Washington, basically a cop who was engaged to his fiance, and it was playing this cat and mouse game. Hold on. I gotta send this out to people. Okay. Give me one sec. I'm not gonna be long with this video. I was just trying to upload it, but for some reason the internet is tripping for me on my end, so bear with me. Okay. All right. So, Inside Man was basically a movie that featured Denzel Washington and Clive Owen. They basically were playing a cat and mouse game. They played a cat and mouse game where, you know, Clive Owen was playing Dalton Russell. Denzel Washington was playing Detective Keith Frazier. And, he's a tough cop. They were matching wits the whole time. Very cleverly put together. Love how the movie was directed. I love the banter. When you watch a movie like this, you like the back and forth because it tests the wits of both characters, like the so-called villain or antagonist, and then the so-called hero, the protagonist. In this movie here, it really wasn't about good or bad. It was about, at the end of the day, they were trying to scheme to basically try to expose a Nazi man, a man who funded the Nazis and all that type of stuff. And it was cleverly done. With Inside Man Most Wanted, they never really were able to get that connection between the protagonist and the antagonist. And at the end of the day, she really wasn't an antagonist. She basically was somebody being forced to do it because her brother was taken hostage, which we later find out her brother was Dalton Russell. Dalton is in this one Barrage. His real name is Barrage. Because he had so many aliases. They tried to find him after the robbery. They said nothing really was stolen, which it wasn't. He took some diamonds, basically. And he left, of course, the information to make Arthur Case expose what he was doing and expose the dark secrets of his family and of his fortune. In this one, Inside Man Most Wanted, the son basically wants to come and basically he wants to come and get the gold, the Nazi gold that you see in the beginning. They show a backstory back in 1945 where the Nazi gold was stolen basically from the Americans. You could say he's basically there to get it back. And practically they got it back. They melted the gold down into like bars, into brass. It looks like brass from the eye, but if you put it up to the gold detector, it will detect it as being gold. In this one, you got a young negotiator named Remy Darbon, who's played by Emil Amin. Um, right before this scene happened at the bank, he was in the hospital. He basically helped talk down a patient who was about to unalive a doctor. Talk them down. He has a very good, very well decorated, very good resume. Doesn't have any unalivings. Usually the hostages or those that are involved get out safely. In this one, I was expecting more like matching wits, but it's not going to be like Denzel or Clive. Like those two are like at the top of the greatest actors of all time, or one of the greatest, or two of the greatest ever. So you had a really Ariella Barrage, who basically is the sister of Clive Owen's character, which was Dalton in the first one. They figure all of this out by going to searching databases. They were able to pinpoint her because she kept coming back and forth. Basically, she wanted them to know her backstory. She wanted to be caught because she was being forced against her will. Her brother being forced against his will. They had him with a blanket over his head at some type of pub, a Nazi pub. And at the end, when it was unsolved, and the thing that was clever was how they melted the bars down. And then I like the way that the one character, this one dude was just unaliving everybody. Like he didn't even give a shit. He was just unaliving everyone after they did their job. And that was my issue. It's like the first one had me intrigued. I gave it a 3.5 or 4. I gave it a 4 out of 4. The first Inside Man. I mean 3.5 out of 4. This one gets 2.5 out of 4. The pacing was decent. The characters never really developed. And I never got the scene where Remy or Ariella were inside. I wanted to get the scene where he came inside, she was inside, and they were able to have their banter. Like that would have set it off and gave you some reminiscing of the first Inside Man. But they were like, no, we're going to have Rhea Seehorn, Dr. Bryn Stewart go in there, which I don't even know why. But anyway, she went in there. Barrage told her the whole story. Then, of course, you got your in-betweens. Then, of course, diversion happens with an explosion. Same as the first one, you had an explosion and all of this stuff. Hostages got out. The cleaning crew in this one ended up being the people who took the gold. Like in the first one, it was the witnesses who got away with it. They basically got away with it because they dressed up as the civilians or the hostages. This one, they didn't do it the same way. What they did dress up. It was like a copycat, but we all realized that Ariella Barrage was the one who basically did the whole planning for the first one. And then, of course, we had her sister, Ava Barrage, who came in there acting like she was getting beat on. She knew the whole thing went down because she was sisters with Ariella. So they set that up. They got out. Then you had your little scene where Remy was going at it with the big German. They managed to get up out of there. So, hey, 2.5 out of 4 stars. You'll watch it one time and then you'll forget it. Could it have been better? Yes. The execution could have been better, but hey, it was straight to DVD. So for a straight to DVD movie, it was pretty good. It's some things I would have changed, like the character Amin, he was playing Remy. He just never seemed like he fit. He just never fit to me. Same thing with Ariella. She just never fit to me. Like to me, it would have been better. It would have been better if they raised the stakes where the guy who was the big German was unaliving hostages or doing something extra, and then we could have got to see the range of each actor and actress in the movie. But it did. Okay, man, my internet tripping, y'all. But I'm not about to be that long anyway. Um, Sorry about that. I'm not about to be long anyway. So it the pacing was kind of okay. I just felt like you could have had different characters. Dr. Breen Stewart was bland. Really didn't like her character. Like, and then you had, of course, the other guy, Och or Osh, whatever he was. And then Amin called him like a bandicoot or something. It was like, I don't know. That ain't sound too good. But at the end, we find out that Barash is alive. She goes and unalives all the people in the pub, basically, well, in the club, in the nightclub, really, who unalived her brother. You had Dr. Breen Stewart set up what's his name? Set up the basically set up Diedrich Case. Diedrich Case was the son. Daddy Case was Arthur Case. You know what I'm saying? Arthur Case was the father. Diedrich was the son, basically, you know. Basically was trying to get some gold, trying to get the Nazi gold back in honor of his father's name. That's all it was. Could it have been better? Yes, it could have been. But for what it was, like I said, I give it 2.5 out of 4 stars. Um, didn't get enough of the interaction with characters. And the dude to me just wasn't. He just wasn't as smooth as Denzel was, and then Barash wasn't as good as her brother. So to me, this should have been left as only one movie. If you were going to do a sequel, I would have brought them two back, just like they did with Den of Thieves. Even though I like the Den of Thieves too, because it showed more range of the villain, who basically he's the one who devised the whole plan, but he made it seem like he ain't had nothing to do, which was smart. So in this case, this is cool. It's okay. You'll watch it one time and then you'll forget about it. Yeah, his name was Ansh Ramachandra, I think. I think that's how you pronounce it. So let me know in the comment section what y'all thought about the movie. Make sure you hit the like button. Hit your notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if y'all love what you hear, you can donate to the page. Go to the description box. Hit the link to the Cash App to donate what your heart desires. Make sure you share this on all your platforms. And yeah, this DZ report, man. I am out. Easy.